Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Wednesday, September 6, 2023. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. All staffing arrangements for schools across St. Vincent and the Grenadines are now in place. This is according to Prime Minister Dr. Africa-CARICOM, who on his weekly appearance on NBC Radio's face-to-face program today said he has been advised that all schools are opened and functioning despite a few hiccups.
Third day, save and except the Peter Bedell Technical Institute, which I had indicated would be a week or so late. Because remember, that Technical Institute has now been refurbished, upgraded from what it was as a technical center now. And the Public Service Commission will be addressing this week, I expect, the position of the principal of that institution. I spoke yesterday to the permanent secretary, and he pointed out to me that there are one or two schools where some furniture which was requested had not been delivered, in part because of, for several reasons in the chain. Tardiness in ordering, in the submission of requests, and also on the production line. But I'm told that everything is workable, even in one or two areas where it isn't perfect. There are a couple of little hiccups which I've had to make calls about, and I know the minister himself has been doing that. Like, for instance, Johnny P., there may be an area which, and you know it also with your house, it would have been checked. You have a scope of works, and you identify during the time when you're doing your repairs that you need some other things to be done. Woodlights, for instance, appear somewhere. And they're dealt with while the persons are there doing the repairs. But there are some cases where the repairs have been completed, but between the time of the completion of the repairs and now, in an area you'd have some woodlights appear. And which is a problem we have, particularly the schools which are near to trees and the like now, vegetation. But they're all being dealt with.
In relation to the transfer of teachers from one school to another, the Prime Minister asked for understanding based on the nature of the situation for the individuals.
For instance, a particular case where somebody is at a quote-unquote less prestigious school and wants to remain there to complete some work now. He's a good person and they're sending him to a quote-unquote a more prestigious school. But he says, I've been working with these young people. In fact, I understand when you just moved from somewhere to that place, he really didn't want to move, but he interacts so well with the students and they with him and the community and everything like that, that he becomes, in a sense, embedded now. And to use language from the horse kingdom, he got a bit between the teeth. So there are cases like that, and I try to give the public a flavor of all of the complexities. But I must repeat what I said last time. The officials in the Ministry of Education and the teachers, the principals, and other teachers too, have been doing very good work in helping to get us together in a meaningful way to start our school year. Hiccups here or there and there, but basically things are, as we say, okay. And in some cases, and in most cases, far better than just okay.
On the issue in Canouan, where some residents have been protesting for the past 2 weeks against the developers in the north of the island, who they claim are taking steps to prevent public access to several beaches in the area by placing a gate at the entrance to the resort which provides access to the beaches. Prime Minister Gensov said he went to the southern Grenadine island yesterday where the problem is and spoke to some persons there, including the acting manager for the resort, which is being operated by Canouan Resorts Development.
We had a civil conversation. In between there were little things, but with between that side and some of the persons from Canouan who had been on the picket, who had been protesting. And I pointed out that in circumstances like this, historically, broadly speaking, there are four approaches. First one, roll over and play dead. The people of Canouan and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines are not going to roll over and play dead with the issue at hand. Secondly, you can live and let live. And that requires a respectful conversation between the developers in the north and the leadership of the protests and other people in the village in Canouan, in the community, teachers, pastors, small business people. You don't need to have a town hall meeting where there's going to be a lot of noise and a lot of people doing things for dramatic effect and all that, and some posturing and all the rest of it. No, you need to have a mature, serious, sensible, sensitive conversation. I said that is what is that one. I said the third thing, which I suggested to her, would be above her pay grade. That is to say, a reformed structural arrangement involving all the parties, between the developers and the government certainly, and also with the community. And fourthly, a revolutionary solution. I said nobody is advocating a revolutionary solution because that will cause unnecessary disruptions, and that may not put us in a situation any better than where we are. In the totality, you may solve one problem, but others are created.
Prime Minister Gansabs noted that the position of the developers at first was that they have the right to build the gates on their property. And while he told them that they may have a right to do so, he also told them that it is wise, prudent, or sensible to take into account the sensitivities of the environment in which they are operating, which should be seen as a partnership.
As a consequence of the discussion, she said, well, she will talk to her superiors about that conversation, which I'm asking them to have. Not involving yet, in relation to that live and let live situation, a properly prepared conversation with certain targeted outcomes, which the people in Canouan and the developers can reasonably live with. Because the first response was that, no, they're not, they're going to build this gate. I said, look, given the history of issues around access, and of course they're insisting that people have access to go to the beach, and she used the unfortunate verb, that, you know, they provide a golf cart and so on, and they control the access. I said, well, you see what I mean? You see what the mindset is? Regulate would be for you a better verb. Not a perfect verb, but that can only come about through the conversation. A Johnny P. of a mature kind. I said to her, I said, I'll show you why, while you have rights, except in certain extreme circumstances, that you have to enforce those rights. I said, we know we're there. I said, the state has a right, for instance. I said, you are here working as somebody from overseas. She has a work permit, she has residence. It's fine. They have a partnership. That's okay, Johnny P. The state has the right to revoke it. But the state ain't going to act unreasonably. And the state is not going to act insensitively, because the state has a partnership. After all, there's an investment there. And maybe in total, between there and down at Tamrin, you probably have about 500 people working, if a number under that. But it's not an unreasonable number. It used to be much bigger. I say, so that's one thing to show you that you have to act sensibly and with sensitivity. I say, for instance, the number of managers and senior personnel you have here. If the workers decide that, listen, we ain't taking what is happening, that is to say, workers from Canouan and from St. Vincent and again, say that we're not working in these circumstances anymore. It's too strenuous for us, for whatever reason. And they stop work. I said, the place would be a ghost town. I said, nobody want that. I said, and you have a lot of rights.
Improvements in the relationship between residents and the developers in Canouan, the Prime Minister said there are many issues that need to be ironed out there, noting that for the last 5 years, the government made hardly any money for alien land holding license and transfer taxes. He said while there are properties in the area to be sold, the developers are not pushing the sale.
They're just keeping the land there within the company. And some people who have land, have bought land, some of them have told me, rich people, that until there's an improvement in certain things in their relationship with the developers, they're not building. You know, people raising questions about maintenance and all the rest of it and this or that. So that there are other things which have to be sorted out. So a person may say, well, during COVID, we expect and then you had the volcanic eruptions. Except to say, during COVID and Mustique, because of what is happening in Mustique and the nature of what is taking place there, and the vibrancy, the state made about $100 million in the COVID year from alien land holding licenses and transfer taxes with rich people, rich foreigners, selling to rich foreigners because people wanted to get out of Europe and the United States and Canada and come to a place where they could work from, they can relax. And they bought the prices for properties in Mustique went through the roof. Rich people selling to rich people, Johnny P. And we stayed in the slips and caught 17% of the value which was being sold with 10% transfer taxes, 5 and 5, purchase and vendor, and basically 7% for the alien land holding license. I didn't see any of that in Canouan. So, and I'm only touching some of the practical questions to give a wider context. And that's, if anybody said, well, what Ralph means that there are other issues, but that's not for there. What I speak, there are more I can talk about, but I give that as also an indication. And we are hoping to see some improvement in the relationship between the developers and the community. And of course, for the developers to get to really the spirit of their agreement, which the agreement itself, which was put together by the developers, the agreement which has been put into law, it was tremendously in favor of the developers. The original developers came to understand the people in Canouan and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But of course, they have sold to another developer. I wouldn't make any comment further than that.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labor signed an implementation agreement with the Embassy of the Republic of China on Taiwan with the aim of improving the management of vegetable cultivation, post-harvest handling, and improving livestock rearing. The signing of the implementation agreement held on Friday, 25th August at the New Grounds Primary School was between the ROC Ambassador to SVG, Her Excellency Fiona Hue Chong Fan, and SVG's Minister of Agriculture, Sobota Caesar. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Chief Agriculture Officer Renato Combs said that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is well known for its vegetable productions. However, much more needs to be done to improve its production level.
A great increase in the number of rooms for hotels in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we anticipate a significant increase in tourist arrivals. Hence, as we always say, so it's to stay in the room. They don't visit any place, but one thing they have to do is come out and eat. So we have to ensure that we have the food needed to feed whoever comes to this country. Post-harvest handling and improvement does not only deal with quantity, but also deal with quality. And we want to ensure that we have quality, not only for our visitors, but for our locals as well, because we want us to be eating healthy.
Gum said farmers will need to set up with their vegetable productivity, noting that the government of SVG is putting things in place to improve quality and packaging.
Now, over the years, we have witnessed volcanic eruption, COVID. They have affected production over the years, but we are on the rebound. And we always say we want to build back better. So we have to put in more effort and we have to increase our productivity. I can't help stressing that. You know, when we compare our productivity to some other countries like the US, Taiwan, Japan, their productivity is much higher than ours, and that's one of the things we have to tackle. But under this program also, we will be looking to improve the packaging facilities. There are 4 facilities that are to be improved. And these are key in grading and make sure we distribute quality to different places that we are selling to. Regarding the livestock, we are looking at improving the pedigree of the animals we have here. So we'll be improving the quality of the stock. And in that program, we will also hope to provide improved quality stock to farmers from the breeding. But to do that, we have to improve the facilities. So we'll be also improving the station where these rearing of animals will be done. So it's a very comprehensive program that we hope to implement here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I know it would have tremendous impact. It's a program also of special interest to me, and I will pay keen attention to the implementation of this program. Not that I don't pay keen attention to the others, but this one is particularly important to us in this unit.
Taiwan's ambassador to SVG, Her Excellency Fiona Hui-Shang Fan, said she is happy to be a part of the initiative, which seeks to not only transform the island's agriculture sector, but also to improve food security.
For those 42 years, our diplomatic ties have grown stronger, underpinned by respect and a common vision. Today, this project stands as a testament to our partnership and a beacon of hope for the future. At the heart of the vegetable project is the commitment to enhance not only crop yields, but also the post-harvesting system that ensure crops reach to the market. By introducing post-harvesting techniques within farmers, we aim to boost not just agricultural practice, but also the foundation of food security for St. Vincent's population. Likewise, the Improving Livestock Project echoes our shared goal to improve lives and livelihood. Through collaboration and knowledge exchange, we strive to improve livestock practices, contributing not only to economic growth, but also the assurance of a stable meat supply for St. Vincent's people. As we all know, farmers play a great role in St. Vincent's economy. As we begin these 2 projects, we are looking forward to the broader impact that will not just benefit the farmer, but also will influence household, community in St. Vincent.
Meanwhile, Minister Caesar said the 2 projects total close to 11 million Eastern Caribbean dollars and expressed gratitude to the Taiwanese government and people for their continued support towards the development of SVG. Explaining how the initiative came about, Minister Caesar said some of the money will be used to do work on the palletization stations across SVG.
Place where they can take the produce to have it graded, and we need some chill rooms in these facilities so that when a man picks his tomatoes, you don't have to run down Sister Balcom down to the supermarket to get them off the same time. And because of that, we are having significant gluts on the market. And when all the farmers plant the same time, you have one time a whole set of tomatoes in town, and the price is a giveaway price. And the next time you're going to Kingston, and you have to watch the same tomato and cut your eye, because the price that they're charging, you have to take a bamboo stick, and not a short one, a long bamboo stick to reach that price. So what we are going to do is that we are going to use some of the money that will be provided to do work in Lanley Park at the palletization center, to do work at Lauders, at Lacqua, and all those are on the windward side. And we're going to do work on Belmont Station on the leeward side of the country. So all the farmers who are doing vegetables from Fancy all the way down to Connery, when they reap, they can take those vegetables to a market in Lanley Park.
Minister Caesar announced at the event that several vegetable farmers will be going to Taiwan for training.
How to grow fennel and how to grow zucchini. And he wants to get into the production of fennel and zucchini and the butternut squash, the radish, the beet. And we said to him, we are going to provide you with the technology and the assistance to get into the production. Some persons laugh at him and say he growing flowers, and flowers can't eat. Because if you never see these things grow before, you're wondering where he is going to sell them. It was at the same time we got a very large consignment of seeds from Canada, and we distributed the seeds nationally, and he took to task of producing these. And I want to tell you today that JJ is the most diversified young farmer, not only in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but in the entire OECS. I had a conversation about having a young person go to Taiwan before the end of this year to study agriculture and to study how you can use modern technology to produce. And I was asked by the mission to produce a name at the end of the meeting as to who we are recommending to send to Taiwan. Well, I want the technical mission to take note that Jonathan Durant of South Central Windward, who is here with us, will be going to Taiwan.
Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Drew, who was here on an official visit, along with SVG's Attorney General Granville Williams, were also present at the signing ceremony, along with a number of farmers from Region 3. In other news now, weak unstable conditions are expected to continue across St. Vincent and the Grenadines this evening, with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms. The SVG Met Services updated 72 hours outlook say mostly sunny skies are expected on Thursday. However, Tropical Storm Lee is nearing hurricane strength and is expected to be at an extremely dangerous major hurricane passing near the Leeward Islands by Friday, creating unstable conditions which could trigger a few showers, thunderstorms across SVG. The Met Services say a thin film of Sahara dust which is across our area is expected to become negligible by Friday with good visibility. The outlook further noted that gentle to moderate breeze will vary between the east and northeast and east-southeast are expected to decrease light winds by Thursday night and calm Friday, creating episodes of heat stress. Marine conditions are slight to moderate with swells ranging from 1 meter to 1.5 meter across our islands, temporarily rising near 2 meters on the eastern coast during Friday night. The SVG Met Services says it will monitor the developments in the tropical Atlantic Ocean and issue advisories and updates as necessary. SVG to celebrate Africa-CARICOM Day tomorrow with a special event in capital Kingstown. The Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture, along with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, will host an Afro-Caribbean cultural event tomorrow to commemorate Africa-CARICOM Day. The event, to be held at the Old Treasury Building site in capital Kingstown, will commence at 11 a.m. and culminate at 6 p.m. The organizers say the event aims to raise awareness and celebrate the relationship between Africa and CARICOM and to spread unity across continents and oceans. Cultural Officer in the Ministry of Culture, Maxine Brown, said that tomorrow's event would feature art and craft displays and a cultural showcase.
Yeah, September 7th is a Thursday, and SVG, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a stalwart member of CARICOM, I must say, will celebrate our Africa-CARICOM Day tomorrow, Thursday, the 7th of September, 2023. This year, our duty is to create the initial awakening for the Africa-CARICOM Day. It's a new day, and so we want to create that awakening now, this year, and next year, as they say locally, we go bigger, better, brighter. And so, for our African CARICOM Day, we continue to collaborate with other entities such as Ministry of Foreign Affairs to enable this activity. This year, Basically, our foci would be an African-CARICOM Jest Day and the Afro-Caribbean Cultural Craft Activity. Through these events, Activity 1, Africa Jest Day, we will encourage the various ministries as well as the general public, all Vincentians, to dress in the various fashion to showcase their African pride and the colors of the various Caribbean islands. You see, we have Vinti colors, the Jamaican colors, the Guyanese colors, all CARICOM related countries on Thursday, the 7th of September 2023. Additionally, there will be a general display of arts and craft from the local vendors, along with several cultural presentations held throughout the day.
Brown said celebrating Africa-CARICOM Day is a significant milestone in recognition of the historical and cultural ties between Africa and the Caribbean, and she is encouraging everyone to wear African or Caribbean-inspired fashion tomorrow.
It's basically to make Vincentians more aware of this day as we simultaneously try to work hand in hand to not only augment this activity, but we want to encourage our people, all Vincentians, to embrace the spirit of Africa-CARICOM Day as a community, as a people, as we seek to deepen our cooperations and collaborations with Mother Africa. So come on out. African Dress Day, we have cultural activities, we have display of craft, right in Kingston, close to the General Post Office, the site where the old treasury used to be. And so come and celebrate who we are as a people, as we show pride in our African heritage and our CARICOM or CARICOM community collaboration. So come on out and let's have fun together. It's Africa-CARICOM Day, September 7th, 2023.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Nigel Butcher, who is in charge of the Northwestern Division, said they have noted a slight decrease in criminal activities in the division for the year thus far, with 159 reports made in comparison to 184 for the same period in 2022. Butcher, who was on the Police on the Beat program on Monday, said the most prevalent crime in the Northwestern Division is pretty larceny, and that they have intensified patrols and stop and searches in the area.
Stop and searches in various areas and so on. And some of us here, and many of the persons who listen to us, grew up from the awnings and from our foreparents wearing animals and so on. So these problems, these crimes are very touching to us. Hence, we make the extra effort to deal with it. That being said, we've in the Northwestern Division, we have had a slight increase, and that increase has come about mainly from violent crimes. All right. I want to appeal to the public. We have to exercise a level of tolerance.
Yes.
And those are some of the reasons that we have an increase in these violent crimes. We would have our differences from time to time. We are a human being. That's a part and parcel of the human nature. But let us try to resolve this in a peaceful manner.
For the Eastern Division, Superintendent Hesron Ballantyne identified theft and bodily harm to be the most prevalent criminal offenses reported. In addition, Ballantyne vocalized despite the decrease in pretty larceny, interventions done to mitigate after altercations.
What I'm seeing though is that person seems not to want to, a better word, seems to take the law in their own hand by, retaliating to individuals instead of coming to make the necessary reports, X, Y, Z. In that case, sometimes what I will do, I will ask the officer to bring the individuals to me and have discussion, mature discussion among them. Sometimes I try my best to see how much I can have an intervention only to prevent situation from getting out of hand. However, if a person commit themselves, of course, we have to investigate and let the court decide on these matters.
Speaking more about the intolerable crime of prettier larceny, Superintendent Trevor Bailey used the opportunity to appeal to the residents in the South Central Division to refrain from purchasing meat from persons who will present carcasses in buckets or plastic bags.
You know, the legitimate farmers do not operate like that. You know, we expect people who are selling animals to have their farmer's ID to show that, you know, they're rearing animals. We expect receipts to be issued. We expect the buyers to ensure or insist that they see these cards and, you know, and they time up the hours of operation where when you're buying the animals, you're not buying a sheep from somebody at 11 o'clock in the night or 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, and sometimes the price that the seller is calling, you know to yourself that there's no how this ram sheep could really value $250 when you're looking at a $600 ram sheep. So not because the price may be suiting your pocket, but you're really doing somebody a disservice by buying that animal.
Yeah.
On creating safer communities in SVG, including for yachties, Assistant Superintendent of Police Nigel Butcher said in recent times, yacht break-ins have been on the decline. However, they are not taking any chances and are preparing for the peak season when there's a significant increase in yachting activities island-wide.
We have increased patrols more at nights for obvious reasons.
Right.
And we have seen positive results.
That's awesome.
Because I will tell you this, we have not had a report of yacht breaking in that district for over a year.
Awesome.
Well, for some time.
Yes, yes.
And so those initiatives have been a deterrent.
Yeah.
They have acted as a deterrent.
Yes.
But we, at the same time, encourage the communities to help the police and to work with the police to make the communities, make the visitors safer.